This year's class speaker is an ITM graduate from the class of 2005. Did y'all have a saying back then? No. Okay. I don't remember what it was. Can't remember, okay. He was a salutatorian of his class and found his niche in the ITM theater department. In September of 2005, he entered Harvard College, and in June he will be graduating with a degree in psychology and a secondary degree in the dramatic arts. He has stayed active in the theater department at Harvard and has starred in such shows as Chicago, Footloose, Twelfth Night, Nine, Angels in America. In the 4 years since graduating from ITM, he has held the lead or held principal roles in 20 theatrical productions and 9 short films. He has spent his summers performing in Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland, studying musical theater in Italy, studying Shakespeare and acting at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. He was most recently presented the annual Jonathan Levy Award for the Best Actor at Harvard. Beginning in June, he will start his first professional acting job with the New England Touring Company, Shakespeare in the Valley. He will then continue pursuing a career in the performing arts. It is my great pleasure to introduce Jonah Priour.
It is good to be home. I just finished my last final exam this Wednesday, and I flew in later that day, so I'm a little frazzled, but I tell you, it is really good to be back in Ingram. It's been 4 years that I've been away, living in Cambridge, Massachusetts, or as I like to call it, the big city. Coming home to see you tonight reminds me what an honor it is to be from Ingram. Thank you so much for inviting me back. I may not have seen the whole world yet, and I may not know all the answers, but I do know that Ingram truly is unlike any place I've seen. In fact, I've compiled a list of qualities that sets Ingram apart, also known as the lessons in store for Jonah as he made his way to the big city. 1. In Ingram, Texas, if you hear somebody honk their car horn at you as they pass you, it probably means they've recognized you and they're just saying, "Hey man, what's up?" Honking back at them just means you're saying, "Not much, bro, how about you?" In Cambridge, this exchange means something entirely different. 2. In Ingram, it is customary to smile at strangers, and on a sunny day, maybe even wave, shake their hand, or engage in conversation. In Cambridge, I tried this on a crowded subway. Things got really awkward really fast. 3. In Cambridge, there is no such thing as taco casa. Enough said. Well, the list goes on. And suffice it to say, Ingram is a very special place. And I'm thankful that a little traveling has helped me realize what a blessing that is. There was a time, however, that I was scared of entering the world as this guy from a small town in Texas nobody ever heard of. 4 years ago today, I sat in one of those chairs and I thought to myself, oh boy, what am I going to do out there in the big pond? And I remember feeling, as I'm sure you all are tonight, a wild mixture of things, from the bliss of having made it this far together, to the nervous energy of not knowing what comes next. I imagine a lot of you are just excited to start celebrating. And maybe for some it's an incredible rush of emotions that's indescribable. And whatever emotions are present here tonight, the truth is I speak of them not only from memory, but as I experience them with you today. For 2 weeks from now, I will be wearing a cap and gown just like you and attending a commencement ceremony of my own. If all goes well, I will soon join the ranks of the graduating class of 2009. Good work. So in a way, I'm right there with you. And what I can tell you is, the feelings that I had then are present in me now, including the fear of what's to come. Even if you're not leaving Ingram, the fear of stepping from the familiar into the unknown is something that's universal. I think all of us know this fear in one way or another. I would like to talk about this fear tonight. Oh yeah, Jonah, fear, sure, that's a real uplifting topic. Well, I submit that the challenge that through the right perspective, confronting fear can be one of the most uplifting experiences there is. And besides, fear is not going away, so we might as well talk about it. Someone once said, fear is the veil between pain and understanding. We can retreat into a state of ignorance and avoid our fears, but then the pain never leaves. Only by confronting fear and looking past it can we move forward from the pain to a new understanding. I have a short story to share with you that I hope will demonstrate this. As since childhood, I've had this fear of things that were so big they seemed infinite. Maybe it was how small and insignificant it made me all feel. Maybe it was the fact that there was so much that I couldn't see, so much that was unknown. What really got to me, though, was outer space. I even had this nightmare once where I was on this jet-powered chair hovering around in space with nothing strapping me in except my hands, which were gripped tight to the seat. Now, as I was looking down at the Earth, I started feeling the light from the sun get brighter, and the Earth began to burst into flame. And all I could do was watch on my little George Jetson chair as everything I once knew evaporated into smoke. Now, it may sound silly, but this image has haunted me for many years. Some people are afraid of snakes, and this was me. So when I took my first astronomy class in my final semester this senior year, I approached it with trepidation. Sure enough, in the first class, the professor told us that the sun would eventually use up all its hydrogen and expand into a red dwarf and incinerate the Earth. And I thought, no way, man, I'm out. I saw it happen. Shortly after, he informed me that this won't happen for another 5 billion years, so I guess we're okay for now. But the point is, despite the fears I had of the vast universe, not to mention having to learn a whole lot of physics, I decided to stay in the class, and I developed a love for my intergalactic friends. And once I started to look past the veil of fear to reach new understanding, my pain of not enjoying life's infinite wonders faded away. And I began to make discoveries, the kinds of discoveries I hope we all continue to make. So let's direct our attention back to the common fear we all have of the unknown. I think this fear for us tonight may best be described as one of identity, as we are all standing at this threshold together as the class of 2009. We are faced with the age-old question, who am I? Or who will I become? Or, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. It is truly scary to be unsure of one's identity. But since we're all here, and in the spirit of a new understanding, I say bring on the fear. As I started to stare this monster in the face, I saw 3 ugly heads. 3 questions that needed answers. How much will I be worth? Where will I go? And what will I do? The questions of value, direction, and purpose. As undefeatable as they may seem, I believe that together as the class of 2009, we can find a way to look through these, perhaps not to find the answers, but to discover a strategy to find them in the years to come. Now let's look at the first question, this of value. How much will I be worth? How will I make a difference? And who decides how valuable I am? And it's easy to say, well, me, I'm the one in charge. But of course, it's not that easy. As an actor, I'm constantly subject to public review, so it's easy for me to get drawn into the world of worrying about what people think of me. I've found, though, that other people's opinions of me are often quite different from what I expect them to be. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. I tell you true that the honor of being asked to come back tonight and be with you all was one that surprised me. I was proud of my achievements here, and I had a great deal of respect for all my teachers and mentors. But I guess part of me figured that I would always be known as a troublemaker with long hair. And that might have very well been a fair assessment. But here I am. And being asked here tonight has reassured me that people often think more of us than we think they do. But even given that, there is no way to know for sure what people think of you. So why place the answer to our question in the hands of others and forever be kept in fear of not knowing? As hard as it seems, I challenge all of us tonight not to rely upon others, be they friends, family, or teachers, to put a number on our sense of value. Okay, so if the answer does not lie in the opinion of others, it must lie within ourselves and our self-worth, right? But what does self-worth mean anyway? Now, at first glance, it may mean that I alone hold the power to decide how much I am worth. But we are all prone to doubts, and even in my own hands, my sense of value may waver. Self-worth could also mean that my worth is myself. That is to say, I have worth and I have value because I am a self, an individual, a unique snowflake. And with that, I want to share one of my favorite quotes written by Martha Graham. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated by you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. So maybe this means that it is not enough just to be the snowflake, but you must sing your own snowflake song on the fall down to earth. After all, when else will you? For if you spend your time trying to be what others want you to be, the world will not have your unique sound. By keeping the channel open to your unique expression, you give your value to the world. This is how you will make a difference. And last Saturday, I put on a one-man show, which was a whole new set of fears, because the whole show was just me for an hour and a half. As people left the theater, the praises I heard them speak were not ones of my vocal talent or acting talent or the selection of pieces. They said it was a worthwhile night because it was so you. And we won't get that anywhere else. So remember, your unique expression gives you a value that is priceless in the world. So now that we've faced value, we come to direction. Where will I go? And how will I get there? As an actor, the literal answer to this can be an important decision. There's a world of difference between acting in LA and acting in New York. But the metaphorical implications of this are also very significant. For instance, I've always been told to follow my dreams. And I've always been told to dream big. But these two mantras present a daunting task together. It's a long and uncertain way to acting stardom, and it's a hard road to keep direction when the goal is far from sight. It occurred to me that the distance might be the problem. I remember something my first interviewer for Harvard said to me. We had our interview at an old barbecue joint in Bernie, and as I was leaving to go out the door, she stopped me and said, "Follow the signpost, Jonah." And being a nervous interviewee, I wanted to seem like I knew what I was talking about, so I said, "Yeah." But I had no idea what she meant. As I am thinking about tonight, however, it started to make sense. Let's look at it this way. Imagine a river. You are on one side and your biggest dreams are on the other. The river is very, very wide. Your only way of crossing is by stepping on stepping stones around the waters. One might say, keep your eye on the prize and move forward. But imagine the difficulty of looking straight ahead at your dream on the other side while trying to cross the rivers on stones. There's the danger of tripping and getting swept away in the current. There's also the frustration of moving ever slowly towards something that seems so distant. And plus, the human eye can only see so far. Now, imagine there are these signposts scattered throughout the journey. They are brightly lit and not too far from view, so even when it's foggy or nighttime, you can probably reach them in a day's worth of stone stepping. What if you spend your time concerning yourself only with the next signpost? Or rather than being rung after rung on a ladder in one direction, each becomes a new, exciting clue in a scavenger hunt that leads you further along. And if at any point you decide to change your final destination, you've still taken a journey worth taking, and you're still closer to the other side. So perhaps the question of where will I go can be rephrased to where will I go next? If we always focus on the next signpost, we are constantly living in the moment and making achievements that are getting us closer to the other side of the river, step by step, without our awareness of how far it is away from us. Do I know where I'll be in the next few years? No. Do I know where the next signpost is? Yes. It's the summer job. And when I get there, maybe I'll see the next one. I encourage all of us tonight then, as we look for direction, to look only as far as the eye can see. Find the next destination, go to that point, and then see what we can see. So, now that we have a strategy to move forward to what we want to do, what is it we're moving toward? And this brings us to our third and final question, that of purpose. What am I going to do with my life? I myself have an idea, but it's only an idea. We live in a big world with lots of options, and sometimes I just wish someone would tell me which one was right for me so I could get to it. But it doesn't work like that, does it? You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was agonizing about all this, and I had this thought. It was a night like many others when I ordered Chinese food at 3 o'clock in the morning with my roommate. And I took out my fortune cookie, and I said to him, wouldn't it be great if I just opened this fortune cookie and there was my purpose? So I thought I'd give it a shot. Who knows? A miracle could happen. So I opened the cookie and unfolded the fortune slowly to reveal what the future had to offer me. And it read, next time you should order the shrimp. Now, this may not have given me the answer I wanted, but what it did was bring about an epiphany. First, like the fortune in this cookie, there is a degree to which we have no control over our fates. Life can throw you curveballs. Perhaps it's not necessarily what you do in life, but what you do in the face of life's unpredictable turns. Finding purpose is really just finding a steady course in an unpredictable world. And my second thought was that finding that steady course and discovering what you want to do in life is just that, a discovery. Your personal process of discovery is beautifully unique to you. Each part of it should be treasured, and since each process is unique, there is no sense in comparing how far along you are to someone else. If you have no idea what you're going to do, wonderful. If you have every idea, that's wonderful too. What's important is that you take every experience, everything handed to you that's out of your control, as an opportunity to further inform you about what you are called upon to do. Find the lesson, find the reason, and frame it in your own context. By seeing each new situation as an opportunity rather than the unfortunate luck of the draw, you are already stepping closer to your purpose. To demonstrate this, I have brought with me a box of fortune cookies. And just to know, you're probably thinking, oh no, is he going to read all of them? I tell you, friends, I considered it. But I have a feeling that one of these fortune cookies here tonight is destined for us. To ensure I haven't rigged this, I will ask your lovely counselor, Miss Rolfe. So everyone sees it. It's not a trick. It's not unwrapped. So I have no idea what this fortune will say. Probably a bad idea for a speech. But as I read it, try to find what it means for you. And it reads, do work, Avery. That'd be great. You will be called in to fulfill a position of higher honor and responsibility. Perfect. Awesome. Now, you may be thinking, it could have been anything. Now, that may be true, but what's important is not this. What's important is what you find within it for you. Already these words may be resonating in a way that's special to each of you. The fortune itself may or may not lead to any great revelation. It is my hope for all of you, though, that in everything that happens to you, you will find the key in it that gets you closer to the things that make you ultimately happy. Through finding what rings true to you in the fortunes you are given, I hope that in time you discover what it is you want to do with your lives. So now that we have fought the three-headed beast and looked through the fear to gain new understanding, I am confident we will have the strategy to guide us to the answers. And now as I look out over the class of 2009, I certainly see before me insurmountable value, direction, and purpose. I see a crowd of individuals, each with their own unique expressions, and therefore I see people with great value, so great that there can be no price put on it. I see eyes looking forward to tonight and to tomorrow, and therefore I see people ready to search for the signposts and ready to find their direction in the world. And I see a group of people who have made it this far, which means you have taken the fortunes handed to you as opportunities, and therefore I see people who will continue to discover their life's purpose. Tonight's journey with you gives me courage to face my fears, and I hope you all feel the same. So I leave you with one final mantra of sorts. Let us keep our channels open, that the world may hear our voices. Let us always be on the lookout for the signposts, that our dreams may come to us step by step. And let us take each new day and all its unpredictability as an opportunity, that each fortune may bring us closer to the lives that make us happy. Finally, and most importantly, remember always, you will be called in to fulfill a position of high honor and responsibility.